Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, it seemed like the closer we get to this Lil Durk trial, the more things are starting to come out and the more it's not looking good for Lil Durk. Now keep in mind, I did tell y'all that if Durk was an average person, I'd say he was cooked already. However, y'all know with that music industry, it's like they got their own laws, and somehow these celebrities always tend to make their way out of some crazy situations to where if it was me and you, it'd be a different story. So I'll say it's not looking too good for Durk, but then again, it doesn't mean that it's over until the jury come to their decision. Now all of this is because it just has been brought to social media's attention that there's a new informant. Well, one we already kind of knew, but now it's been confirmed 100%, claiming that Durk instructed him to carry out the hit on Stefon Mack for the get back of money-making DThang, Lil Durk's brother. He says he was going to get a certain amount of money, but he didn't get it all, but then also stated that he met up with Lil Durk to actually get the money from him when he was in Chicago doing his $1 million worth of game podcast. Now, if y'all remember in the previous video, I told y'all, in court, it's not always based on what's true, but it's more about what you can prove. And you also have to convince the jury that what you're saying is solid. So all the prosecutors and attorney's job is to do is to paint a picture to prove their points to the jury, and then the jury makes a decision. That being said, if y'all remember, I told y'all that Durk bringing $1 million cash to that interview would come back to haunt him. For one, he's already being tried for M for hire. Not in one case, but in two. Then two, the average person that will be a part of that jury, which will most likely be YT men and women, they won't understand why a man will need to take $1 million cash out the bank to bring it to the trenches. That would already make them suspicious. So when the prosecutors come and say, well, defendant Banks used some of that money he brought to his old neighborhood to also pay for the hit of Stefon Mack, and we have one of the suspects actually confirming that he did meet up with Lil Durk to collect some of the proceeds, and we have text messages that were a part of a superseding indictment originally that proved suspects were texting each other about receiving the rest of the money for the hit from Lil Durk himself. Durk's lawyers are going to have a hard time going against not only the statements that's against Durk, but also the digital data that was collected as evidence. It's not impossible, but his attorneys definitely have their work cut out for him. Now, when they said the indictment for the Stefon Mack case was just dropped, I told y'all something wasn't right. The feds don't just drop cases, especially with federal indictments involved. I can't tell you why it was or they assumed it was, but to think that they would collect all that evidence, charge and indict him to just drop a case out of nowhere is insane. Now, for y'all that don't remember, Mike City AJ was the one that left his cell phone in the car using the shooting death of Stefon Mack. So basically, he was cooked from the beginning. He didn't stand a chance. More than likely, the police sweet talked him, told him that he was done, and the only way to at least save himself a little bit would be to give him something, and keep in mind he was already locked up for a separate charge. And according to these new release documents, it seemed like he took the bait unknowingly, according to them, whatever that means. Now they're saying that AJ unknowingly told an undercover agent that Lil Durk placed a $70,000 bounty on Stefon Mack's head, but wanted it raised to $90,000. He then tells him that he only received $35,000 and then another $5,000 from someone else, making it a total of $40,000, which means that it was another $50K that they were supposed to receive in the win. An indictment claimed that he met with Lil Durk to try and collect it, and the rest is history. So we're going to get into everything we know that led up to this point and also highlight the details from before we knew AJ unknowingly gave up information. Now they said that the case was closed, so I don't know if it's going to open back up or if they're just using information from that case to paint a narrative with this new case concerning Lil Pac. Who knows? But we're going to get into everything, y'all, but before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now let's give a brief rundown leading up to the document stating that Mike City AJ basically unknowingly told on Lil Durk. On January 27, 2022, Stefon Mack would attend work at a youth peace center around noon. As he was leaving the center, he would be shot at by two suspects that were parked in a black vehicle waiting outside, apparently for Stephon Mack himself. Mack ran away and was tracked down by one of the suspects while the other one ran an opposite way. They would eventually meet back up together after the shooting and run off into the snowy day. Later on, the two suspects were identified as Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell. And there's a bunch of evidence that pinned these two to the shooting, so instead of being all over the place, here's a document stating exactly why and how they charged these two. Keep in mind, Preston Powell himself, according to reports, have never been captured and is considered a fugitive. But the documents will state, quote, specifically, the FBI is investigating allegations that Montgomery and Powell and Stefon Mack on January 27, 2022 in violation of the laws of the state of Illinois as consideration for the receipt of something of pecuniary value. Mack was shot and killed by two assailants while leaving the Youth Peace Center of Roseland. The two assailants exited from a parked stolen car and began firing at Mack as Mack walked across the parking lot. As the two assailants were driving into the parking lot, Powell, using subject phone 3, exchanged several phone calls with the user of subject phone 4. Law enforcement believes that subject phone 4 is typically used by co-conspirator A, but for the reasons set forth below, may have been used by co-conspirator B at the time of the exchange of calls between subject phone 3 and subject phone 4. The two assailants abandoned the stolen car at the scene in the parking lot after having Mack. Through law enforcement's investigation, summarized below, I believe that Powell and Montgomery were the two assailants. After the Montgomery left his cell phone, subject phone 1, inside of the stolen vehicle that Montgomery and Powell used to commit the Powell called Montgomery 3 times on subject phone 1 from subject phone 3 minutes after the shooting, as Powell and Montgomery had split up on foot in different directions, and Powell was likely unaware that Montgomery had left subject phone 1 inside of the vehicle used to commit the 34 minutes after Mack was Montgomery's girlfriend, the listed subscriber for subject phone 1, called AT&T to report subject phone 1 as stolen. Approximately 3 minutes before contacting AT&T to report subject phone 1 as stolen, Montgomery's girlfriend was contacted by subject phone 5. So do y'all see how easy it is to catch these guys? How much they think they are so smarter than the feds? I don't know why they think the feds are slow and don't pay attention to things such as reporting a phone stolen right after a crime was committed. But once again, once he left that phone, he knew he was cooked. It was just a matter of time. So clearly they were sloppy, and even more sloppy enough to text each other asking when they will receive their money for the unaliving of Stefon Mack. Crazy. The documents will state, quote, 5 days after Montgomery abandoned subject phone 1 in the stolen car, he obtained a new cell phone. Subject phone 2, as set forth below, Montgomery used subject phone 2 to communicate with Powell using what I believe is coded language to discuss when Montgomery was going to receive the payment for having Mack. In February 2022, law enforcement seized subject phone 2 from Montgomery incident to his arrest in an unrelated case. For the reasons set forth in further detail below, there is probable cause to believe that the location of subject phone 1, subject phone 3, and subject phone 4 at the time of the and in the hours leading up to the would lead to evidence of the subject offenses and at the location of subject phone 5, and that's when it was cut off. Basically, they're saying that more than likely they pinged their phones before the was committed, and it was a point where all of their phones were in the same area, which they can convince the jury this is why everything was premeditated and they knew what they were going to do. So with all of their phones being in the same location before the shooting, seemed like it was being plotted, and all the phones that was in that same area can be considered involved. Also, those same phones were in fact linked after the shooting as well in some form of communication. Rookie mistake for taking your phone on a drill, or taking your phone in the commission of any type of crime, honestly. That's the easiest way to get caught due to all the new technology these days. Once again, rookie mistake. Now here's the text messages that were taken from the phone records that included Montgomery and AJ, who were talking about receiving payment from Lil Durk or somebody from OTF themselves. It is their quote. February 10th, 2022 at 2:43 p.m. What's up with OTF? 2/10/2022 at 2:45. Nothing. 2/10/2022 at 2:46. What you mean? They not paying? 2/10/2022 at 2:46. We waiting. He comes up here on the 17th. Now 2/17/2022 at 7:21 p.m. Stand on that while you were Durking him. 2/18/2022 at 9:48 a.m. Did Durk give you that money? Now pay attention. I said the dates for a reason because they would bring up the fact that Durk did come on the 17th and AJ was linking with Durk on the 17th. And after the 17th, he can be seen on his social media flashing money. Crazy. So sure enough, investigators would actually show AJ being around Lil Durk on the 17th and was even in the Aha music video, which prosecutors believe the lyrics was geared towards taunting Get Back for DThang due to its lyrics. What did AJ do? Well, he took to Facebook to post himself with a large amount of money and had the nerve to play the Aha song in the background. Can't make this up, man. Now that's some of the evidence they have just from doing their own investigation. But on the flip side, they say CHS1 would offer information as he would state, quote, CHS1 has reported that Lil Durk was and still is offering money for people to unalive those responsible for his brother's M, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any gangster disciple that is unalived. CHS1 has also indicated that DThang was unalived by members of Dump Street. According to CHS1, Dump Street is a GD faction on the south side of Chicago. According to CHS1, Dump Street member Individual A was a close associate of Mack. According to law enforcement records, Individual A is currently in pretrial custody for allegedly having committed a double M that took place in Country Club Hills, Illinois. Now, quick tidbit, right? In the indictment, it was alleged that Stefon Mack's location was dropped by two brothers who also formerly worked at the Youth Peace Center. They were a part of the gang called Risky Road. Coincidentally, Durk released a song called Risky, and in the lyrics, he would state, quote, tap that switch, don't use it fully, you might just see his bros. Little bro got jammed up for a body, he ain't gonna change his clothes. I say when you chase him what you see, he say he chased his soul. Get on his butt, he gonna be easy, he be chasing wolves. Now, we don't know, right, 100% if any of that had any correlation to what took place with Stefon Mack, but the point is, did you see how easy it was to affiliate those lyrics exactly to what happened to Stefon Mack? Well, what you think the prosecutors is gonna do? Whether it sticks or not, their point is to just paint a narrative to make Durk look like this menace to society who pays for people to get unalived. Alright, so with all that being said, and now that you got the backstory of everything, it has now been revealed that Mike City AJ would be the one who offered information to an undercover agent unknowingly, whatever that means. Now, according to the documents, it is state, quote, this is especially true here, considering the nature of the charge M for hire conspiracy, which did not involve an explicit and individualized agreement between individual A and the shooters, but related to a general bounty put on willing assassins. The three excerpts that the government now seeks to admit against Powell are reflected below. Excerpt number 1. In this excerpt, Montgomery Wilson explained to the CS that the bounty for unaliving Youngin, which was Mack's nickname, was $70,000 and that Montgomery Wilson tried to get the amount increased to $90,000. Montgomery Wilson would say, quote, next thing you know, that's a dub. Reminds me, we was having a conversation, shorty. Ken told me like, Ish be a 70 ball. Right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna trying to get him to go to a 90. We trying to get 90 out of him for this Ish. CS for MF, Montgomery Wilson for Youngin, the Mac M. Now excerpt number 2. In this excerpt, Montgomery Wilson explained to the CS that although individual A contributed $50,000 to the bounty for unaliving Mack, Montgomery Wilson only collected a portion of those funds. Montgomery Wilson would say, quote, look, Jam, this is what Jam told Didi. I mean, he told Bondo, like, Bug, he say, man, individual A gave up 50, shorty, he only paid me a dub. So it's 30 missing. Remind you, I'm locked up. Excerpt number 3. In this excerpt, Montgomery Wilson explained to the CS that he received approximately $40,000 for unaliving Mack. CHS would say, quote, "So altogether, you got 35. Montgomery Wilson would respond saying, quote, 35 and then another 5 from JD and them, which they supposed gave me 100, shorty. They really owe me 100. Now below in the documents, it'll state, quote, "These 3 limited excerpts exclusively concern Montgomery Wilson's admissions to the CS that he unalived Mack to collect a payment that had been offered by individual A and his associates for the M. The statements were clearly against Montgomery Wilson's interests and are independently corroborated by other evidence." Now, being that they said that the excerpts are limited, it means that those are pretty much the key points of what they took and what they're going to be using for evidence. However, it's limited, which means that there's probably more to that dialogue, and there's no telling what else was said. So we don't know how he unknowingly offered this information, but the only thing I could come up with is this, right? Usually when you're in jail and they want to get information out of you, they'll put somebody who's like an undercover guy in the jail with you, and you think he's a regular inmate. And a lot of times these jail guys, they get caught up in telling their whole case and admitting guilt to these inmates because they're telling stories, not knowing that this could possibly be an undercover agent. This happens a lot. If y'all go on YouTube, y'all can see agents and people who are being interviewed talk about this happening more than people think. So you have inmates talking to these undercover agents about their case and explaining detail for detail for detail, not knowing that they possibly just messed up their whole case. Now, I don't know if maybe he told this to an undercover agent, or maybe an undercover agent heard him talking and probably recorded it. Who knows? But they're saying that he unknowingly offered information. So it doesn't seem like it was intentional. However, he said it. Now, once again, I don't know what this information is going to be used for. Maybe it's just to paint this picture of Durk before trial comes, or maybe it'll be used in trial. Who knows? But this is just a small portion showing of what Durk is currently up against right now, facing a bunch of people who seem to be cooperating against him left and right, or just plainly people who was moving sloppy, and unfortunately, he's going to pay the price for them. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see how his attorneys handle all this. But this also goes back to what we were saying when we stated that they're not going to be just using music lyrics for this case. The music lyrics would just be used to prove certain allegations or referencing, but no federal prosecutor is going to go to trial just using music lyrics and videos. All right, so we'll have to wait and see what comes out this trial, man, because y'all know they're going to have more evidence. So in the meantime, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.